everyone. This is the voice of Erika, Bernando's oldest grandchild, and I'm here on the busy streets of Manhattan, walking past the Swedish Institute, College of Health Sciences. This is where Bernando obtained his certificate to become a licensed massage therapist at what many would consider to be an advanced age. So, I remember, I'm going to turn this around. I remember when my mother was working in Los Angeles and we were still living in New York City at the time. She was doing a lot of driving. And if you do too much driving, what will happen, or what can happen, is that your lower back, the bones in your lower back and your lumbar region can impact. Hey, Sue, they can impact. And I hope you can hear me over this very large noise that's going on behind me here. And eventually, your nerves can be pinched and you can get sciatica. So this is what happened to my mother, is that she ended up getting sciatica, which was very painful, really made it impossible for her to walk. And fortunately, Bernando was now in the stage, thank you, Sue, Bernando was now in the stage in the completion of his studies at the Swedish Institute, where he needed to actually practice on someone. So, of course, my mother was the perfect candidate to practice upon. I mean, I remember it was about the time that she was doing the movie Let's Do It Again. So my mother was an actress, Bernando's daughter was an actress, and she had been doing a movie in New Orleans on location with Sidney Poitier of United Artists. He was the director, but he was also starring in it, along with Denise Nicholas and the notorious Bill Cosby. So there are stills of her where Sidney is very skillfully kind of holding her by the elbow. And I said, really? Your back was killing you at that time? And she said, yeah. She said, that's why Sidney was holding me at the elbow, because I couldn't walk on my own. It was so painful. But she was such a professional actress that given her expression, you couldn't even tell that anything was wrong with her. So I'm saying this to put it in a time frame. So that would have been, all right, let me think about this. I believe Let's Do It Again came out around 1974, if I'm not mistaken. The staple singers actually did the soundtrack for that movie, and the song for that movie was called Let's Do It Again. So that's a way that we can cross-reference it. So he would come over to the house, dressed in his trench coat, his little cap, and bring over this big massage table and would work on her. Now, so if it's 1974, right, when the production of Let's Do It Again is over, say 73, 74, that would put Bernando at about around 72 years of age. So my grandfather was very vital at that age, in his early 70s, and he was starting an entirely new career. So I just want to say that this is really encouraging for anybody who's thinking about making a change in their life and doing something new, that you don't necessarily have to be a certain age to do that thing. And especially if you take care of your health and you remain vital, you can age less and live more. Of course, that's the title of Bernando's book, Age Less, Live More, Achieving Health and Vitality at 107 years and beyond. So, what's another cool thing about this stage in his life is that he just loved, he loved doing massage. It opened up a whole new career for him, because he was definitely not the kind of person who was going to retire and sit around at home. That was definitely not Grandpa. And as a result of getting this new career path in therapeutic massage and in the Swedish technique in particular, later on, it would encourage him to go back to school again. So he actually went to New York University, and that's where he got his podiatry license again. He went back to studying podiatry. He had gotten his first license as a podiatrist in, I believe it's 1955. I have the certificate. I believe I posted the certificate at some point on Facebook. But the other thing that he was attracted and interested in learning was also acupressure, right? And reflexology. So these are all things that he added to his arsenal of wisdom and knowledge, because his father used to tell him, your feet are very important. This is one of the reasons why Bernando paid special attention to his feet. He would soak his feet in Epsom salts every evening with extra virgin olive oil, and then using Castile soap to clean his feet, using a pumice stone and massaging his feet, and to make sure he didn't have any corns, calluses, or bunions. So what I find interesting about Grandfather is that the instructions that his father gave him are things that he applied to himself in his own life, but he internalized it so much that eventually he would adopt that, and I guess you could say externalize it by taking that advice and using it as a career path to open up a whole new career for himself. So later on, he opened his own massage practice. He rented an apartment building, not an apartment building, excuse me. He rented an apartment in one of the lower floors of the residential apartment building that he was living in with Georgette at 72-10 41st Avenue in Jackson Heights, Queens. And that's where the patients would come. So he had dancers. Back in the day, there were like a lot of dancers, working dancers in the city, because there was a lot of club acts, a lot of entertainment acts. So of course the Rockettes are the most famous, and he did have some clients that were Rockettes, but there were also other kinds of clubs and things like that. And of course, if you're dancing as a living and you're doing that several times a day, your feet are going to ache. So those are some of the people that were counted among his regular customers and clientele when he was basically holding his own and having people come over to receive massages, to receive reflexology, to receive am I saying it right? His care as a podiatrist, right? Maybe ingrown toes, bunions, calluses, he knew what to do. I remember going to visit down there when he first got it. He hadn't entirely finished the wallpaper yet, but he had, the massage room. Also, he would give people whirlpools, because he had a whirlpool in the bathtub. Because I think you can still buy these things, but back in the day, Whirlpool realized that not everyone, especially city dwellers, were going to have room to have a kind of a hot tub or a whirlpool out on a deck that they didn't have. So they started selling these jets that you could place in your bathtub, had a little kind of an arm to it, so it could be placed on the ledge of your bathtub, and you could go in there and get some hydrotherapy. Bernando was also a very, very big fan of hydrotherapy. So when his clients would come over, he would make sure that they had a soak and had their hydrotherapy and the whirlpool. Also, he had a steamer. It was, how can I explain this? I think I might have posted a photo of this as well, because our mutual friend Mark Sturkowitz had one of these. It basically is a steam cabinet. So again, if you don't have room in your home to have sort of a built-in sauna, like when you go to a spa, you can actually buy one of these steam cabinets. There's a little bench in it. It's got a little side handle. You can sit in there and you can steam. So this is something that he would do actually with a lot of his clients, because he would explain that before he was going to do a massage on them, which of course he was going to use extra virgin olive oil, he wanted to make sure that all the excess dirt was out of their body and out of their system. So what the steam does is it actually makes you sweat, and different toxins and dirt come to the surface. So then he would have them on the massage table, and he had kind of a scraper where he would literally just scrape off, all this excess dirt off their bodies before proceeding. Now, I would imagine that they probably would rinse off after that. A little bit of a speculation, because of course he also had clean towels, hot towels that he would use to wipe people down with as well, right? So if anyone can enlighten me about that, let me know. But at any rate, this is my recollection. And then he would do a full body massage on them, of course, concentrating on whatever areas they needed special attention to. And then, of course, if they were kind of getting a deluxe treatment, then they would get their feet done, or maybe he would give them a pedicure. He even had nail polish to polish their nails if they wanted that. And then at the end of that, he would give them a bowl of his barley soup. He would even give them a bowl of his barley soup. Of course, he made this from scratch, because of course his apartment that he rented out also came with a kitchen. Or he would give people a superfood. So by the time people finished a treatment with Bernando, at this point, this could last, depending on what you were getting, 2, 3, 4, 5 hours. They were walking on a cloud and completely and totally relaxed when they got home, and would sleep like a baby. So these are all the different things that I remember that Grandpa would do. All right, so let's see what these questions are. All right, I want to say hello to Dylan, who called. Hello, Dylan. Backyard Fun Country Boy. Hey. Let me see. All right, Sue says, did Bernando need any licenses or anything else to open up a roof? Of course you need a license. Of course you need a license. When you become a podiatrist, you become a doctor of podiatry. You can't just do this stuff and not have licenses. My grandfather played by the rules. He played by the book. He was an educated man. He got the certificates, he got the licenses, he got whatever he needed to get to be able to open a business and to be able to practice and have patience. So he took this very seriously. There's nothing fly by night by Bernando. Now, if you're interested in doing this in your own state, whatever state it is that you live in, then you would need to go and investigate and see what certifications, what licenses you would need. Of course, he also had his licenses framed and up on the wall so people could see that he was for real. So I just wanted to share that today as I'm walking by. It's kind of my hope that I can stop by different places around the city that are attached to different memories that I have of Bernando. He was a real person, he was a very down-to-earth man, and he was a working man. So this idea that you can't be healthy and be a working man is nonsense. I see people out here all the time, actually the block I'm on here right now, got these construction workers that look like hell. Why? They don't sleep enough, they don't eat right, they don't bring their own food, they're smoking cigarettes, so their complexion is gray, right? They don't take care of their skin, they don't drink enough water, and they're only, 40, 50 years old, and they already look like hell. Okay? All right, so that's the story for today. So I wish you all well, and if you haven't picked up a copy already, be sure to pick up a copy of Age Less, Live More, Achieving Health and Vitality at 107 Years and Beyond. If you already have that one, buy one, give one to a friend, especially a hard-headed man who doesn't think taking care of your health is important. And if you don't have Beyond 100, How to Live Well into Your Second Century, pick that one up. All right? So I wish you all a great weekend. Peace.